socialism or this ideology even of anarchism, then do you think that that's something that is gaining ground today? Do you see that as a big threat to the world, basically?
I don't know if it's gaining ground or not, but I'm not sure if it's a threat either. It was back in the old days because they wanted to keep the despotism alive and ignorance and stuff. Like there's a certain amount of good that was done through all these revolutions that happened, right? I mean, I'm conservative a bit in my outlook, but not so much that you got to keep the man down, right?
Sure, sure. Well, exactly, and that's why this is very interesting to talk with you about this again, because things are not always as black and white as we might perceive them, and there's always you know some good that is happening, even though you might not agree with the overall agenda or whatever. But as far as I'm concerned, there was a certain amount of that, the work that they did done in that regard, even if they are behind the revolutions and bringing down the structure of the monarchy, the ruling monarchy of the day, then that's something that needs to be done, I think, and that's a good thing. But then again, on the other side, if their power is tipped over too much, we might end up here with having some kind of one world socialist system, and many people are are afraid that that might be something that is coming. What do you think about that? Do you see that is on the rise as well? If we talk about the New World Order, for instance.
Well, a lot of the globalists, like the CFR, the Trilateral Commission, and especially Richard Haas, who's the president. I'm going to do a search here in my PDF for him.
Mm.
So what I did was I quoted a passage from an expose that was done in 1786 by an ex-member, the Illuminati, and it basically was saying we need a one world government, and it was basically, I told them, I said, okay, this is the exact same thing of what they're saying today, and I quoted from Richard Haas, and when you have the same exact thing next to each other, it's kind of proves it right there that the same dreams of cosmopolitan world order. But they like to tell everybody that it's going to be like everybody's going to be happy and everybody's going to be equal. But in reality, it's a technocratic institution from the top down. Like the philosopher kings at the top are the only ones who are going to be allowed to rule. It's the same thing that happened in the French Revolution.
Yes. So it's a restructuring of power again that we're seeing. Do you think a lot of people are theorizing that that the monarchy still will have a lot of power if this one world order comes into place and whatnot, and many even speculate that monarchy actually is behind it because they are the one who are pushing that. Do you see any evidence for that, or do you think that that's erroneous?
Well, the same structure that was going on back then in Enlightenment still exists today.
Yes.
When somebody dies, the title gets passed to the next guy, right? And if there's no heirs to the throne, like they still have the same names as they had back then, and they still meet amongst each other. I know there's an underground monarchy conspiracy. I bet you they still want to get power again, right?
Mm.
But how are you going to prove something like that?
Well, it's difficult. But if you will share with us a little bit more on that, are you talking about a specific bloodline here, or is it what is it you're referring to when you say a hidden branch of monarchy?
Well, the Holy Roman Empire, the whole edifice of the Holy Roman Empire. You had all the kings and queens, the dukes. Right back then, they got the power was taken away from them. They're still sore about that today, right? And even the Priory of Zion, the hoax that Pierre Plantard tried to put on everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that was like a monarchist conspiracy. Like they wanted to get back to the royalty of the Merovingians, right?
Sure, sure.
So, and you still see them. They're meeting together. They're having suppers. They're getting initiated in the Knights of Malta. You know, I think they have an agenda. I don't know exactly what it is because I'm not privy to it. But even if you go online, there's certain places. Like I had a few links of the actual princely sites that you go to, and it shows all their nobility, and it shows everybody. Like they track everybody, and they know what each other's place.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
If the Holy Roman Empire were all of a sudden to be instituted, they know exactly who's going to fill the head spot, right? Who's
Right.
the holy.
Right. You're saying that the pecking order and the, I guess even the genealogy of these people are in place, so to speak, in regards to who has the the most royal blood and so forth. When you're talking about the Holy Roman Empire, I'm reminded of I guess we can talk about the Habsburg as one of the powerful dynasties there. Would you say that could they be behind some of this as well? What do you think, Terry?
I'm not sure what their agenda is today, but I know they wanted to have it go back the way it was. But back when the Illuminati were around, like their thrones they got dethroned back then. But they're still. Okay, I got a link right here. It's called Alamac, the Holy Roman Empire, the history, structure, and Holy Roman Empire of the German Nation. .com.
Okay.
Alamac, the Holy Roman Empire.com.
Can you send me?
It has all the titles displayed, and there's also the Imperial Council of Princes.
Yes.
They track everybody's pecking order, like you're saying.
Yeah.
And so you have the Saxe-Gotha, you have Saxe-Altenburg, you have Rudolstadt, you have Regensburg, where the free imperial city of Regensburg, where they had the Reichstag, and Thuringia. There's all kinds, but they keep track of their pecking order. So if one day all of a sudden a dictatorship, maybe it could happen, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they all of a sudden decided to reinstitute the Holy Roman Empire, they know exactly who's going to be at the top, right?
Maybe you can send me that link after the program, and I can put that up in relation to this interview, so people can check it out for themselves.
Yeah.
Because I had recently on the program Lawrence Gardner, and we talked about he is actually presidential attaché to the European Council of Princes. We didn't talk that much about it, though. Or maybe we can invite him back and talk more about that. But that was pretty interesting to hear. And what he talked about as a kind of prominent bloodline behind the scenes is the Desposini. Have you ever heard of them, Terry?
I'm not sure. How do you spell it?
Yeah, give me a second here. I can check that. Let's see here.
Well, if we're talking in Illuminati terms, like there's a lot of people that because there was a lot of nobles that were initiated. There's a lot of people that were also initiated into the Order of the Elephant, for instance. You must, because it's from Denmark. I don't know if you might have heard of it.
Yeah, I have.
Elephant.
Definitely.
So one of the prominent members was Karl von Hessen-Kassel. He was initiated into the Order of the Elephant, and there's a few other ones I can't remember right offhand. They were also initiated into that.
Okay.
And the Order of the Garter too. They're also initiates in tandem.
Yeah.
With being the Illuminati member. So, and even when Weishaupt went into exile at the court of Ernst II, Duke of Saxe-Gotha, he stayed there for the remainder of his life. That was probably 40 years he stayed there. 40-some years. And so maybe it was merged into all the princely orders that Duke Ernst II was involved with, because he was a knight of the Garter. We know that for sure. And his progeny sits on the throne of England right now. direct descendant.
Hmm. So here, I can quickly just give you the spelling here of Desposini. It's Desposini. Desposini. Something might be worth checking out, and that's basically just takes it back to, well, first of all, it refers to the alleged, blood relatives of Jesus, of course, but this is basically kind of a patrician, family line that has connections to the old, Byzantine or even Roman Empire, basically.
I think I saw that in some webpage. The the Jesuits rule the world crowd.
Okay. Hmm.
I think they were talking about that.
All right, right. Well, it's another one to keep an eye on, that's for sure. But okay, so we have, definitely something going on here, so to speak. We have a lot of different secret societies. We have a lot of different agendas. It seems like as well. And the question that many people are asking, of course, is if this overall agenda is centralized, or if there's still many small factions that are fighting very much within themselves or with themselves to gain power over the world, or to get control of the one world order or government. Do you see that anyone is a particular agenda or secret society or allegiance or group is more powerful than another today?
Um, Basically, the nobility has been replaced by people on the top of corporations of the world, right? They're basically the new nobility today. If there's any consensus between them, then basically that's what happens, right? If something needs to be done, they get together and form a little conclave of coalition, and that's what happens, right?
Or
The Bilderbergers, the trilaterals, the
right,
CFR.
right.
But as far as I'm not sure. I haven't delved in too much where the monarchy fits into it, right? And most of them aren't really members of it, except for the Pilgrim Society, maybe.
Yeah, that's another very powerful society that has its tentacles everywhere. But if we're talking about the Bilderberg, for instance, then we have Queen Beatrice, for instance, of the Netherlands involved there. So that's
Okay.
royalty there.
Yeah, you're right. And so she's on the agenda with the Agenda 21 too.
Right, exactly.
And the Earth Charter and everything that's going on.
Yeah.
Maybe they want to steal our land, right? Maybe it's the whole plan is a monarchist plan to get back their land.
Could it be, because I've heard people argue over the fact that socialism is only kind of an intermediary step, meaning that socialism is a good way to get control over, as you say, for instance, land or assets or something, concrete like that has value. And they use socialism as an intermediary step. And once people have accepted that or whatever, and even potentially themselves might have thrown it out, we get another system on top of that, supplanting that potentially is going to be ruled by monarchy or something like that. That's something that I have, at least can see as a possibility here. What do you think about an idea like that this Illuminati theory or this Illuminati ideology of socialism bridging into anarchism and communism, that's just kind of that's an ideology that from the get-go actually was created and initiated and helped along by the monarchy, because they know what the later outcome of that would be. What would you say to an idea like that?
That's something to think about, because, as you mentioned, I forgot about Queen Beatrix, and she's involved with all the environmental agenda, especially the Earth Charter and sustainable development stuff. So there must be a hidden agenda behind it.
Well, we have Prince Philip behind the WWF, the World Wildlife Foundation, right? There's another one.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's a good angle. I should look into that a lot more.
Okay, so
But
sorry.